2 years ago. It's fall 2022 and I was at the library with my best friend and we were just looking around to see what books there were. And as I was looking around, I passed by the self-improvement section and I found this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's this exact same book. And I remember hearing some pretty good stuff about it and seeing some TikToks saying that it's a really good book and it's gonna change your life. So I bought it thinking that I will read it and I'll become the best version of myself. Moving forward a couple months later and it's winter 2022. My parents had just left to Spain because we were moving there next summer. It was past midnight and because I lived in a quite small town it was really quiet. The only thing you could hear was your own breath, the leaves dancing in the wind and some cat getting horny here and there outside. And as I was standing there alone in the dark, I was looking down at the ground below the window of the 4th floor apartment that I lived in. And I was wondering, would it hurt if I jumped? You see, I was really lost and depressed and anxious and confused, and life just had no meaning to me back then. And besides that, the war in Ukraine had just started, which is right next to Moldova, and you could hear the bombs and everything. I stayed there for a while and then I went back to bed because the next day I had school. And as I was going towards the bed, I passed by the self-improvement book that I bought, and like every other time that I passed by it, which is like a couple times in time, I simply ignored it. I went to sleep and then the next day came, I woke up, I got dressed and I went to school. I had to live like that for a good while and the worst part was that it was getting worse and worse, and I knew that if I didn't change something about it, I would either end up finding out if jumping from that window would hurt or not, or I would end up living a miserable life full of suffering and regret. However, I still didn't change a thing. Until one day, the nights were cut out because of the war in Ukraine. And that day I remember having a really bad day at school in particular and my mind was just a mess. My phone was dead and I simply had nothing to do. So I was once again standing there alone in the dark, staring at the ceiling and the void caused by the lack of light. And I knew that if I didn't distract myself with something, I would end up finding out if jumping from that window would hurt or not, because I simply was a mess that day. However, my mind was black, I didn't know what to do and I was getting desperate. Until I remembered the self-improvement book that I bought, Atomic Habits, that was sitting on a shelf gathering dust from all the reading I've done to it. So I went over, I picked it up, I got a flashlight and I started reading, and then I fell asleep. The next day, I woke up, did my morning routine, like usual, and nothing changed. Sadly, it wasn't one of those life-changing movies like in the movies where everything changes in one night. However, it was the first step to me changing my life. Fast forward to now and I'm here in Spain, living a purposeful life, working towards my dreams and doing what I love. My physical and mental health are through the roof, my confidence is higher than ever and I have a body that I'm proud of, and the only thing that found out if jumping from that window would hurt or not was my social anxiety, which is no longer with us. And I hate to brag about it, but I got out of that shithole all on my own. But anyways, hi, I'm Christian, I'm 17, I'm still in high school, and I know that was a long ass intro, but bear with me, there's not much left. So what is this 17-year-old kid with acne scars doing on your screen? Well, as you know already, I've been through some stuff and I'm only 17. So my mission is to be that someone that I needed when I was at my lowest points in my life, but for other people, for people like you. My mission is to be someone that you can relate to, and my mission is to show you that it's possible. And besides that, I'm still improving, like you and like every other person. And I'll be documenting the journey to show you the ins and outs and the problems and how I solve them and give you the solutions so you can learn from me without having to learn all the stuff the hard way. So what am I doing currently? Well, I run an AI automation agency and I'm trying to get that off the ground. I run a personal brand, you can check out my IG, this YouTube channel, and besides that I'm still in high school and I'm also doing calisthenics, so yeah, I hope we get along. So if you're related to my story and you want to hear some more relatable stories and some real advice from a kid that's your age, then hit that subscribe button and leave some comments, it will help me out a lot. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes and I'll see you next time. But anyways, get back to work. Ciao.